Can you see me?
There, I can see you.
Okay. So I finally figured this out. Hi.
Hi, why do you look so much better than I do?
Well, if you saw the rig I have going on over here.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing pants. I hope that's okay.
I'm wearing a dress and I'm not wearing pants, but I haven't shaved my legs. So it looks like I'm wearing pants.
Yeah. I haven't shaved my legs either.
Yeah, well, you're allowed not to.
Yeah.
So hello, everybody. Hi. Welcome. Can you, this is all new to me in this format. So let's see here. I'm looking at the chat. Can you see the chat?
I can see the comments. I'm only on Facebook though. So if anybody's watching on YouTube, I can't see that.
No, I can't either. So we're good. I'm good. So hi, welcome to our first pilot episode.
Woohoo! I'm way more excited than I should be. Like 20 minutes ago, I was laying on the couch without a shirt on, and I had a bunch of popcorn in my chest hair. So yeah, I've been ready for this for at least 15 minutes.
I don't know how to respond to that, but when I get excited about doing something, I also put popcorn in my chest hair. So this is going to work out perfectly.
Yeah, it's wonderful. No, I'm really excited about this. I didn't think that I would ever come back to a weekly show. And then you and I were talking, and in the immortal words of April Roane, you said, "Do you wanna?"
Do you wanna?
And I said, "Yeah, let's go for it." So here we are.
Here we are.
We've got three or four listeners already, or viewers.
We have 9 total.
Yeah, it's weird for me though, April, because when I used to do, and we'll get into this in a little bit, I think, but when I used to do radio, it was radio. And people couldn't see me. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Not every guest was a great guest. So it came in handy that people couldn't see you, because if I had a terrible guest, I could just do things while they were talking and I didn't really have to pay attention.
Right.
And I could make faces. But now I can't.
No, you can't. And I agree, because before everything was, remember in the very beginning, Blog Talk.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, just to be able to do this through like 3 different channels at the same time, I just, with technical stuff, I had 5 different microphones, none of them were working. And then I threw this little thing. You could see I think the cat's got some of it, but the little thing like flew. Anyway, so I'm thinking, how are we going to roll with this, this debut? We've both been on radio. Now they call it a podcast.
They do call it a podcast, and Jimmy brings up a great point. And we're going to start this off right. I once took a crap during the show.
Did you?
And I could only do that because it was radio.
True, and you could mute it.
Yes. So
we can't do that now.
This is the outstanding stuff that you are going to see and hear with this new show. So should we get going with introductions? I'm trying to get so much of Murray in here, and if you don't know Murray, then why are you here?
Right.
But okay, so I'm in the middle, kind of.
There you are. It's perfect.
There. Okay, let's try to keep everybody sick.
Yeah, okay, he got his tie going and everything for this evening.
Yes. Do you want to get going first and explain to people who the hell you are?
No, we're going to need some sort of jingle, which, that will all be coming, as well as escaperealitypodcast.com. But no jingle, a little jangle. But yeah, no, you go ahead. You take this off, you and your boy.
All right. So first of all, I'm really excited about this. I did radio for about 10 years. Stopped doing radio in March of 2020, I think, just before the pandemic. That had nothing to do with it. I was just burnt out.
Yeah.
And didn't want to do a weekly show anymore because it takes up a lot of time. because you have to prepare. Because if you don't prepare, you come on the air and you look like a fool for an hour. And I don't want to do that. And I know you don't want to do that. So the preparation.
Why not?
Well, I take that back. You did want to wear foil hats tonight.
I did. People don't understand that. I mean, I might have. Did I send you plans of how to make it, or I didn't get that far yet?
You didn't get that far.
Okay.
Thank God.
Okay. We'll save that for your Bachelor episode that's coming up.
Yeah, let's not talk about that just yet. But,
okay.
So anyway, a little bit about me. Founded Fox Cities Paranormal Team 13 and a half years ago. One of the most important things that I've ever done in my life. Love every bit of being a paranormal investigator and the things that it has brought me. And some of the things that it has brought me is it's brought me this beautiful platform for Pawtographs For Pooches, which I've been doing for 8.5 years, raising money for animal shelters all around the country. And April, you've been a big part of that here in the last, 4 or 5 years. So,
Yes.
The paranormal has given to me, and I want to give back to it. And I love being, I guess, a quote unquote ambassador for the paranormal. And you're going to get a lot of opinions from me on this show because I do have a passion for the paranormal. And sometimes that passion comes out in what some people would call anger.
No. Should we have signed some sort of contract ahead of time?
We should have.
It's all good.
Anyway, yeah. So for 8.5 years. Most important thing I've ever done in my life is be Murray's dad. And that'll never change. And you see him behind me there on the screen. And, he's the big reason for Pawtographs For Pooches. And at some point, we'll get into that. I don't want to steal the whole show and go into all of that. And most of the people that are listening right now, you know that whole story anyway. So we'll save that for when we get listeners that don't know us. I've been in 3 movies. Some people would call them movies. Other people would call them really bad movies. Scott Tepperman, great friend of mine, has put me in 3 of his movies, and I've had a blast doing that. But don't call me an actor; I'm just cheap labor.
But don't you have an what do they call that? IMDb
page, Internet Movie Database. I think that's what it stands for.
Look at you!
I'm on there. And every once in a while, people will watch those movies, and then they'll send me a friend request on Facebook, thinking I'm this big horror actor, and I'm not. So, and I have no need to be. I have no want to be.
After the 3rd one, you retired.
Yeah, it's you've been there, done that type of thing. Once you reach a certain level of fame.
You put popcorn kernels in your chest hair.
Yeah, and another thing you need to know about me, second language is sarcasm. So you're going to get a lot of that.
Yes.
And unless you see me with a serious face, just imagine that I'm probably not being serious with what I'm saying at any given moment. So that is me in a nutshell. And I'm going to pass it over to my lovely co-host, April Roane.
I feel like Vanna White. Dun, 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 dun. Remember, what was her name? Kelly Bundy on the one episode where she worked for the car place and she was like, the new Alante. Anyway, all right. So
I remember Kelly Bundy because I was discovering myself when she was on TV.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, I just couldn't believe I was young enough and I was like, she wears tight pants for her mom, and why are his hands always in his pants? Anywho, all right. And then that's how we went to bed as children. We all had the pallet on the floor, and, Married with Children came on. All right.
It all makes sense now because my hands are always in my pants.
You see, it's
full circle. I'm going to shut up and let you talk now.
Look, maybe we should do all of our shows with our hands above the keyboard. Spirit fingers. I once was on TV in high school, in Catholic school. We did chorus live on Channel 2. I'm kidding. Actually, that really was a real thing. I stood up there with the priest. But I am a psychic medium. Do you like the segue from Catholic school girl to psychic medium? And I've just been doing this work for 12 years. I love to inspire people. I call them my light babies. I am an advocate for empathy. I am an advocate for well-being, for self. Most of the people that know my work know that I will post all the time. I am an adult survivor of childhood trauma. I think we're like we're leveling up here. It's been abused for so long, but after a while, you realize it's just all trauma. So so many of us have gone through the shits. Do we even know what the rules are with cursing on our own show?
I think you can say shits.
Okay, shits is good.
Yeah, I think shits, okay.
All right. So
if you're offended by shits, maybe this show isn't for you.
I know some of my clients. Listen, there's going to be maybe the first half hour of every show should just be a long disclaimer. So like Star Wars were anyway. So I've just been doing spiritual work, inspiring people, period. I cannot fit myself into a label, a space. Most of the people are watching me go through some growing pains on the website. I go from psychic medium, spiritual guide, teacher to now I'm a light coach. Anywho, I just hold space for spirit. And that has been a very fun experience because you always end up where you never knew you were going to be. I do a lot of work with animals, and I met this man through my husband, actually, who is the founder of Fear Paranormal. And so I am a part of Fear Paranormal for everything a reason. And that's pretty much what we do. I did have a radio show back in 2010 called The Movement Within Radio, and I was blessed to be able to take that to CBS Radio, newskyradio.com. And I got burnt out. It is a lot of work behind the scenes, but we both have the gift of the face hole. That sounds so bad.
That sounds very sexual.
We have the gift of gab.
Yeah, I like face hole better.
Join our face hole show.
Yeah, come and stare at my face hole.
Oh dear Jesus! How far are we in? We're not even a half hour in yet.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is this isn't going to be boring.
No, and that's the thing. This is an escape reality. I don't know if it's an escape to, an escape from, but this world we live in right now, it's just not easy. And most of the people I've noticed in the paranormal realm, people are feelers. The feelers are expanding everywhere. And there's a lot out there. And, a lot of people who know me personally know behind the scenes, I am very funny. And I think I have an inner, either an old Jewish woman or I don't know yet, but I need an outlet. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. And a lot of my friends would say that Tim thinks he's funny.
You are funny. You are funny.
I see. Sometimes I try too hard, and then it turns into just annoyance. And there's a lot of people that will send me messages after they first have met me, and they'll be like, "Oh, it was so wonderful to be around you." And I'm like, "Well, give it another day."
Should we have like a button that has a little like boom boom, like sound effects?
But you mentioned, and if I'm cutting you off, just tell me to shut up.
No.
I've done a few shows with Scott Tepperman, and I'm not used to being able to talk because he just talks and talks and talks and talks. But yeah, you mentioned us meeting through Braxton, and I think the first time we met ever was at the Pawtographs For Pooches event in Tampa.
Yes.
And we met there, and we don't need to talk about that event specifically because that was not one of my best events.
Oh, but it was neat, and it was for a good cause, always.
Yes. But I'd like to share a story from that event, if you don't mind.
Yes, go ahead.
So what I used to do when I would go to an event and meet a new medium is I would talk to my dad on the way to the event, and I would say, "Okay, Dad, here's the deal. This is what I need you to tell this medium to come and tell me so that I know that they're legit." And I did this probably a handful to 10 times at events. And you wouldn't believe how many times it worked, where a medium that I had never met came up to me and said, "Your dad's telling me that I got to tell you this. I don't understand it." And that's how I knew that these people were legitimate. And it was my own little game, and maybe I was just an a-hole for doing that. But early on, I was around a lot of mediums that didn't have the client's best interest at heart. So I became very jaded, and I needed to know who was real and who I could trust and who was a good person. So in going to this event, I gave my dad a few phrases, a few words that, this is what you need to have April tell me. And you and I had talked before the event, so we kind of knew each other a little bit. And we got to the event, and the event went off without a hitch. Not many people there, but the event went off without a hitch. And we did this amazing investigation at Tampa Theater, this wonderful, wonderful location. And towards the end of the night, it was about 1 a.m., you came up to me and you said, "Hey, I got to talk to you." And I'm like, well,
freaky mediums.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, it's finally happening. And you were like, your dad's at all of these events that you do, right? And I said, yeah, I kind of had that feeling. And you looked right at me and you said, well, he wants me to tell you that you can stop telling people to say these phrases. Or I'm paraphrasing, but you were basically just like, he's telling you cut the shit. And I laughed.
Funny.
I laughed so hard because it was like, yeah, that's my dad. And that was his way of telling you and then telling me, hey, I'm here. And this lady's everything that she claims to be. And in that one night, you told me, you said your dad is under the hood of your car and he's nervous and he's trying to fix it. He doesn't know what's wrong with it. And on the way to the event, I had car problems and I was afraid I wasn't going to get to the airport.
I didn't know this.
Yeah,
well, I don't.
So when I got home, I think it was 3 or 4 days later, I traded my car in and I got a new one. So you're the reason I have this car now.
Oh, nice.
And, the whole reason that, we've all been brought together and it was just, it was a wonderful story. And I wanted to be able to tell that story. So, people that are tuning in that only know me and don't know you, which I'm sure there's people that are tuning in that only know you and don't know me. But the people that know me, this is me telling you that April Roane is everything she claims to be. Not so much everything she claims to be, because April doesn't beat her own chest. April is everything that everybody else claims her to be. And on top of that, she's a wonderful person. So
in addition, medium. She's nice.
Yeah, fantastic medium, great heart. And so I wanted to tell that story. And I'd never told you that whole story before. So that's how I quote unquote tested you the first time I met you.
I do hear that quite a bit. I'm always tested.
And you passed with flying colors, which was pretty amazing. And the Tampa Theater is incredible, by the way. I wish
it's gorgeous.
I don't really get like, oh my God, look at this building. With me. But I caught myself a few times that night sitting next to Gary Fisher and just looking around and going, this place is amazing.
Mr. Fisher, I'm getting used to responding in our chat room. I see people, I guess I've responded 3 different ways. Oh, I see how to do this.
You were on a roll.
I see how to do it now. Okay. I don't know how to do this. We're just going to leave it. Anywho, so that's how spirit normally throws me into people's faces. I meet them for the first time and all of their deepest stuff comes just pouring right out. So, your dad, I don't always have I'm not like Teresa Caputo. I do have the option. There's a Michelle. I will not always, but because you're in the arena, you're in the field, it was important that, I opened my mouth so he could talk. And I remember hugging you thinking, how tall is this guy? Like, holy crow. But so people that don't know you, that know me, people that are chiming in, most of you that have followed my work know that over the years, it's always looped back to paranormal work and animals, always animals. Please just follow my crazy life online. I've got 12 cats. How many nipples is that? You know, I mean, it's nuts. So
it's a lot of nipples.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's just mine hurt just watching all of it. So I told Braxton I'm postpartum with the cat. I'm just postpartum. But Braxton actually had done some work with you or met you at an event and said, we've got to, you've got to meet him. And we ended up doing a Pawtographs event with you in Tampa. And what Pawtographs is and what really pulled me is anytime I get to tie what I do to a charity, please, that is a win-win. And your story is what caught me because, and here's what the show's going to be: sarcastic, probably inappropriate, funny, real. You may not really like what I think or Tim thinks or what we say, but it's our show. And this is the one little place in the world where we can escape reality. So one of the biggest things that we are probably going to come into from time to time is mental health. And mental health, it's just not like, oh no, that 2-word, those mental health. It's important. If we aren't doing okay mentally, chances are everything around us will not be doing okay. And your story was powerful because then you were saved by an angel, literally 4 legs. Fur, Murray, and your whole thing is to raise money for animals, mostly senior dogs, and then you've branched out a little bit to like elephants, and we still have to figure out how to do that. But it is important that whether you're in the spiritual field or the paranormal field or you work at a doctor's office, it's important that we lift each other. I always see people have attention when someone passes at a funeral. Oops, and you always see the posts, life's too short, tell your loved ones you love them, but no one gets it. It's like a flavor that fizzes. Life is too short. Life is way too short. So coming together with you like this to plan to take over the world is incredibly timely. It's incredibly important, but more than anything, working with you and then introducing you to all my little tribe is important. Tim does these events all over. You could see in some of the chat, Michelle. There's Dana Stricker. We had Scott Tepperman, Deb Simpson. Just tons of people that you've interacted with, and you've changed the lives of so many people and animals. And so anyway, I couldn't not want to do this to you, bring you live, and then expose you to my tribe, and then do a Bachelor episode.
Oh boy. Yeah. First of all, what people need to understand about me is I am horrible at taking compliments. So that was
we all are. I think we all are. That was
a very uncomfortable minute for me. But anyway, I'm still thinking about nipples. I can't get nipples out of my head.
Poor mama. You should see how many 2, 4, 6. I think she's got 20.
That's a lot of nipples.
Like maybe 40. I don't know. There's always kittens, but
I think that might be a Guinness World Record. If we've got 40. But no, it's
poor mama.
Something that is the biggest passion in my life right now. And I mentioned the paranormal field and all of that it has afforded me, and most importantly is Pawtographs For Pooches, and giving me that platform to reach as many people as I'm able to reach, and it's amazing. And it's weird because when I was telling people what I've done and what I've accomplished, I forgot to tell people that I was on Paranormal Witness a decade ago. And that's really what launched everything for me as far as, hey, do you want to come and speak at this conference, which snowballed into, hey, here's a table, which snowballed into, what do we do with this table? And almost $70,000 later.
Yes.
So, and then today, I don't know if you saw on my Facebook page, I go to Farview Golf Course all the time in Oshkosh. I am a regular. I'm in 2 leagues there. I know the owner. He's a great guy. And a few weeks ago, he came up to me and he said, I want to do an event for Pawtographs. And we're gonna donate all the proceeds to Pawtographs, and you do what you want with it. And it's just stuff like that. It's the world keeps giving to me, so I feel like I got to give back at some point.
Yeah,
because I'm definitely ahead of the game. I've received more than I've given. So, wonderful things. And this show is going to be fantastic. Mental health is something that I don't go out of my way to talk about, but I love to talk about it when I'm allowed to.
Mm-hmm.
The things that I've gone through personally with depression, anxiety, suicide attempt, I'm sure we'll get into all of that as the show progresses. But
I know because we could hit them all hard, but we want them to come back.
But yeah, no kidding. I don't want to make them cry and then go away. But one more story, because that's what we do. At my day job, I'm a supervisor. I'm a logistics supervisor, which is not nearly as glamorous as it sounds. But it pays the bills, and the people treat me well there. And they put out this program today, company-wide, and Amcor is a giant company. And they want to do something with mental health to help the people that work at Amcor deal with mental health. And they have these planning meetings. So I contacted the ladies in charge of it. And I said, I don't want to just participate in this. I want to help. And I told her my story through email. And they contacted me, and they're coming to visit me. And they're letting me help put together the program.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, which means a whole hell of a lot to me. That I'm able to do that. So it's a little daunting to share this entire story with everybody at work, because there's only a select few that really know, especially being a supervisor. You don't really want to bare your soul to everybody. But
right.
We'll see where it goes. But I couldn't sit back and not help with that. So that's pretty important to me too. So anyway, enough of me. There's a lot of people saying some fantastic things about me, and I love you all for doing that. Just remember that not 50 minutes ago, I was sitting on my couch with popcorn in my chest hair, and I'm still not wearing pants.
This is a visual. All of my clairvoyants that are watching right now, thoughts, visuals, ideas. Come on.
Yeah, it's not pretty though. So
Tim, no pants and popcorn in his chest hair. I know. Look at all the ladies are texting me right now.
Like, why are you doing a show with this idiot?
No, you're not an idiot. So this is I've missed being able to do this. Most people know I'm quiet, introverted, shy. No, I don't. Wow, I thought you were going to be like,
I was just letting you go with it.
Oh, yeah.
It's your lie. You tell it how you want.
I know. No, it just feels so good to be able to hold this space and then reach all these amazing people. And you could see a lot of these people have crossed over. Some of the people have donated. There's Teresa from Florida to Pawtographs. And if you guys are watching on the website, on the bottom of my website, there is a Pawtographs pick and a donation. You could go to pawtographs.com, pawtographsforpooches.com. We're going to get all that together on here correctly.
Don't go to pawtographs.com. I don't know what that is.
I know. No. I'm like Pawtographs for Pooches. And then a happy birthday to Jimmy Nason. I just needed to throw that in there, belated. So we are going to merge lots of things on this show. Personal stories, paranormal stuffs, intuitive psychic medium stuff, maybe throw in a quick card or reading here or there. Clearly Murray's going to be a part of this. I mean, I just had to say that. I had no choice. He was clearly, did you see how he inserted himself there? Clearly I will be a part of this. And that's what people need to understand. This is not going to be your normal show. Spirit is going to be showing up all the time. So when we talk about Murray, Murray has transitioned. So he really is an angel. And Murray puts this stuff together all the time. Just watch what happens on the chat stuff. People from all over start talking, and it's pretty powerful. Spirit works in lots of mysterious ways. So some of the stuff we talked about is bringing guests on from time to time. What other ideas did we have?
We're going to have topics that we're going to cover in full, and hopefully as the show grows, we'll get a bigger and more included audience.
Yes.
And they'll be boisterous and ask a bunch of questions. I also want to pass along my birthday wishes to Jimmy Nason, and I love the pic of him being drunk on Facebook.
See, I've missed out on this. I have to get on there.
I've never seen him like that. I've seen him very confused trying to figure out where his alarm clock went. I've seen him very confused and wondering why when the car is in the sun, it gets warm. But I've never seen him drunk. So that was a new one. But yeah, I bust his balls all the time. But Jimmy Nason, if you can get through the rough exterior, is one of the nicest guys in the world. But he doesn't want you to know that.
No, I love him.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to.
We're going to let the world continue to think that Jimmy's an asshole. But yeah, the show is just going to be you and I most of the time.
I was looking up Jimmy's picture with Tobin on his back.
Yeah, but most of the time it'll be you and I, and we'll have topics, and you and I can talk forever. So an hour will be nothing. But yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be a good time.
It is going to be a good time. We always have a good time. It's always cut short. I feel like that weekend in Michigan needs to be like, put the event, a little vacation in there, and then a little more of the event. Teresa says, I'd love to know how he started the charity because I have been working for a cause that I've started, but it is so daunting to become a not-for-profit that I don't know if I should or should not. So I love this because Tim is a not-for-profit. He went through the process.
Actually, time out. The process is not completed yet.
Okay.
Going through the process. So, yeah, I can't claim to be a nonprofit yet, but it's getting there. But it's been getting there for quite a while. But every time I get close, something snags. And you're right, Teresa. It is daunting. It's a lot of legal stuff that I'm not very good at. So I try to crawl my way through it. And the last time I tried to crawl my way through it, I hit a roadblock. And now I got to start over. So, yeah, that's where we're at. But it has been the most rewarding thing that I've done. So, yeah, I would say go for it. Just be aware that in the beginning, it's going to take a lot of work and there's going to be very little result. I've heard
that.
The first event I did, we raised $10. And then fast forward to 8 years later, in March of this year, we raised $13,223 for Silver Muzzle Cottage in Michigan. Next year's event is going to be for Northern Michigan Animal Rescue Network. And they were the ladies that we actually did our first Pawtographs exclusive event for.
Aww.
And I'm happy to be back with them and raising money for them. Because back when we raised $751 at our first exclusive event, you would have thought that I had just given them the world. They were so happy and so grateful and sent me pictures of everything that they spent the money on. So I can't imagine how happy they're going to be when we hand them all of that money next March. So
yeah,
I was happy to be able to do that. And we're going to have to work out a way to maybe go every other year because I don't want to just forget about Kim and Silver Muzzle Cottage because what she does is incredible.
Yeah.
But I wanted to include Northern Michigan Animal Rescue Network because, quite frankly, they deserved it because they were there with me in the beginning.
People don't understand that rescuing animals is a lot of work. It's a lot of time and it's a lot of money. There's a reason that there are 14 cats total inside outside. They came with the house. And they kept reproducing. You've got to fix them. And, you can't fix them when they're breastfeeding. It's, it is a cycle. You'll hear about it a lot, where they do the spay neuter, release. But a lot of these rescues either are not, they're not a not-for-profit. So, that's nice.
Wow.
Yeah. Queen of England's in the house. Hey,
yeah,
hey.
How do we block him?
Oh, we're just, yes, Queen of England. Thank you for showing up. We can't beep. beep, beep. All right.
Oh, that was amazing.
Would you like me to put a kettle on?
Hey, I got a question. How do you have that much hate in your heart that, 30 minutes into the first podcast ever, you just show up just to be an asshole?
Yeah, I don't know. But I literally am going to take a screenshot because it says I just blocked the Queen of England.
It does.
So that happened on our pilot episode. I should have worn my foil hat. Put a feather in it. But
we should probably check the comments on the YouTube feed too. Because
yeah,
that's probably over there.
Who knows? We're gonna figure out more and more how this works. Better and better, so we could probably block more of the royal family. No, so we just had a really nasty comment, but those are fun. Where was I? It was so good before the Queen of England interrupted.
It was fantastic. Before that, we were talking about to animal rescue, and
yes,
it swung in the direction of, hey, let's talk about Tim, and we don't need to do that.
Well, no, and then April's going to say one thing, but it's going to take 5 years to get to. Okay. A lot of the rescues do not have funds, and a lot of them are up to their ears with animals. They are maxed out. There is not enough support. I even wanted to come up with like a network for rescues where there would be drivers that would literally go from rescue to transport animals and supplies. So nonetheless, the fact that you donate to rescues, I feel like we're just scratching the surface, but it's people like you that are making a difference for these rescues to be able to do this.
I appreciate you saying that, but honestly, the work is really done by the people that actually go and do those transports and save those animals and stay with them when they're scared and lonely and do all the behind the scenes work. Obviously raising money and putting together an event is not easy. But the amount of work that we do pales in comparison to what those people do, like out in the field and, saving animals and rescuing them and the heartbreak that they deal with when one of them doesn't make it. All of that. So, I mean, Murray's done quite a good job with this Pawtographs For Pooches thing. And I'm proud of him. And that's always where I put the praise is. It's all on him, and it still is. And I told a friend earlier this week, one of the biggest reasons that I'm so passionate about Pawtographs For Pooches is because it allows me to have Murray remain a part of my daily routine. Yeah. And he's still here with me. And
he breathes hot. Like when he's close to you, it's like on you.
Yeah, he was quite an obese dog at the end. Because it became, how many hot dogs can we eat? Are we having burgers? And towards the end, it was, let's just make him happy.
Yeah.
We were going to do the Murray moment of the week, and I don't want to miss that. So,
no, but yeah, that's something that everybody can look forward to every week. There will be, and we will have a drum roll. Brrr, the Murray moment of the week.
So it's not always going to be related to Murray, but it's going to be called the Murray moment of the week. And we're going to highlight something that happened in the animal kingdom, the animal world, the rescue world. And this week, it just happens to be about Murray. Earlier this week, I believe on Sunday, my friend Becky Castillo had to say goodbye to her little pup Dyson. He had a very long life, a very loved life. He had some health issues that I don't know the extent of, so I'm not going to get into that. All I know is that life was not as fun for him as it should have been. So he was a very old pup, and they made the decision that they were going to let him go at home and surrounded by family. And I sent Becky a message the day before, and I just told her that I loved her and that I would ask Murray to make sure Dyson was okay, so he wasn't alone. And Becky and I talked a little bit, She made a video with Dyson and sent it to me, and I cried like a baby.
Oh.
And then Monday morning, she sent me a message and said that Dyson came to her in a dream, and he was running in a field, and he was with Murray. And, it just, I'm tearing up now because it's like my little boy is an amazing soul. And
yes, he is.
And his dad asked him to do him a favor, and he did it. And, he was the welcoming committee and basically putting his arm around him and saying, "We're going to be okay, kid." So my prayers and my love go out to Becky Castillo. She's a wonderful human being too, medium. I worked with her in Illinois at an event, raised some money for Pawtographs For Pooches there. She runs Silcon, which is also where I met Braxton.
Yes.
So it all comes together. But I wanted to share that because it's an amazing thing. And when Murray passed, the biggest fear for me was that he was going to be alone. And he's not. He's not alone. He's on the other side directing traffic.
He's everywhere. He is an amazing dog. And, people have to understand, whether they understand or not, they have to know that loved ones are with us. And a lot of the times those loved ones are fur babies. It's seamless. So many times in readings, it's not just loved ones that come through. Sometimes it's the very first animal. At first, it's an animal. I had a vet that I actually did a reading on, and 2 random cats came up, like details. She didn't own them, but 2 showed up thanking her. We don't realize not only can we make a difference in someone's life, but sometimes that life could be for something smaller that doesn't have a voice. One thing, Tim, that Murray did for you was gave you a voice when you needed it most.
He did so much more than that. He gave me confidence.
Well, I'm talking about the moment where you were out.
Yeah, he, for those that don't know the story, and I don't think there's many in the room that don't, Murray walked into the room at the moment I was about to commit suicide and put his head on my arm and saved my life. And like you said, gave me a voice, and then eventually gave me confidence, because if you see me, I think anywhere before that, any kind of public speaking scared the crap out of me. Just absolutely. But when it comes to mental health, when it comes to the paranormal, I can sit up there and blab forever. I really can. And it's him. He's the one that gave me that confidence. So Murray's legacy, folks that are going to the Michigan Paracon, I'm going to shill my wares here. I got a bunch of sweatshirts and t-shirts coming, and we're going to be there. And I'm hoping the people come out on Thursday night. So be there, please. I don't want to speak to an empty room. There's nothing worse in this world than showing up and nobody shows up to hear you talk. That's a big kick to the ego. And it's happened. And I'm sure, April, when you first started doing speaking, you walked into rooms where there were 3 or 4 people too. I think we've all experienced that.
Yes. Oh my God. Do I still get nervous? Not as bad, but it depends on the energy. I remember in the very, very beginning, I was so nervous. I was giving a talk on the power of you. And I even wrote with a black permanent marker on a mirror, and it said you. That was 12 years ago. Connecting with people to me is air. I can't live without it. Connecting with life is air. I cannot live without it. That's why when you do an event, whether it's an event or you go to the grocery store, if you're not present in your experience, I feel like saying, stay home. Stay home. We have a very limited time to cross someone's path and either smile. Think about what we do. We ignore all the time. Animals do not ignore. Animals never ignore. Ever, ever, ever.
Little known fact about me, every time I go on stage or on the floor, depending on what you're speaking or where you're speaking, I have a moment where I excuse myself beforehand and I cry like a baby. Every time, every single time. So if you're at an event with me and it's like 10 minutes before I have to speak and you're wondering where the hell is Tim, I'm somewhere where I'm away from people. And that's what I'm doing. And I've never shared that before. So
it's important.
I believe one time I snuck into a corner of a different room, and Tim Woolworth and Todd Arnold found me.
Oh.
And we had a big bromance hug there. But usually I sneak away to somewhere where nobody's going to see me and get it out. Because honestly, at this point, with what I talk about and what Todd and I talk about, it's emotional for me because it's an extension of Murray, and we get to tell his story, and I'm basically, getting a chance to connect with people because of him, and then in turn, people tell me their stories. And fun fact about me, I am an introvert. I really am. People would not believe it when they see me at an event because I force myself to be the life of the party. One of the things about people with depression and anxiety is we love to make people laugh. That's one of the things that we do. It makes us feel better. It makes me feel better about myself when I can make others happy.
Oh,
But the pandemic it sucked for everybody. It really did. It really did. And it's not completely gone yet, which sucks even worse. But having to stay home and stay away from people wasn't as hard for me as it was for other people. So, I really am. My happiness is when I come home and I got Molly and Ray and Bo and I got to include Murray because I probably talk to Murray more than the other three.
What people don't realize is most people talk to their loved ones, full conversations.
Yeah.
I need to say that because we're more alike than we'd like to admit.
Well, if I could be just like you, I'd be fine with that.
If what?
If I could be just like you, I'd be fine with that.
You could.
I would be happy to admit that. No, I think you're a great person. There's nothing about you that I would change. So if I could be just like you, then I think I'd be winning at life. So give yourself a little bit of credit.
That's good. That's deep stuff. You're right. And you know what? 2 things before I forget. Heather, I'm sorry that COVID hit your house today. There's this whole Delta variant thing. People are we still talking about this? Yes. Unfortunately, a lot of people are getting this nasty cold that isn't COVID, but the cold has so many symptoms that are like the variant. So you just go to Walgreens, CVS, get the flippin' test. Just keep yourself safe. You never know when you get that one little cold that's going to kick your butt because you've neglected so many other things. So anywho, I'm going to get out of someone's energy, but a great show so far, Tim. Anthony.
That's Tony. He helped me found Fox Cities Paranormal Team.
Oh, hello, Tony. Have I met Tony yet?
No. No, he's actually coming to an event in Wisconsin in September. Okay. It's the first one he's been to in a while, but first time I ever spoke at a conference, it was with Tony. We spoke at Wisconsin Paranormal Conference in 2010. Left the team some years ago to focus on family.
Yeah.
And he and I think we get together at least once or twice a week. And he's like a brother to me. He's a big brother, and he's going to hate that I say this, but I love that guy. God, do I love him. No, just a good dude, a good dad. And
that's a t-shirt. That's a good t-shirt.
Yeah. If you get a chance to meet Tony, you're going to want to do that. And plus he's funny. So,
hello, Tony. Can't wait to meet you. Is he doing a thumbs up or a middle finger? A thumbs up. Okay.
I think that's a thumb. But if he was doing a middle finger, you'd be like, hey.
Yeah. I'm like, great show, Tim. Yeah. I don't know what I was saying. I go,
Tony did the intro music for my last show, so maybe if we talk nice to him, he'll make one for us.
Check that out. That would be pretty amazing. That would actually be very great.
I'm reading some of the comments here. I am also over COVID, and I don't want to really give it much of my energy on this show because it is so divisive.
Yeah.
And people get so angry, and you're either yes or no. And we don't need another Queen of England issue.
No, we don't.
So we don't need. If we're gonna
people
piss
are like,
off,
what?
let's do it with something paranormal.
Oh yeah, if you're tuning in now, the Queen herself showed up earlier. We did a little blockage going on over here, but this show is going to help people cope with so much that is changing right now that I don't think we still understand. And I think COVID is a very small part of it. You know, people are becoming aware of things. People are actually becoming aware of their ability to think differently, which is massive. Do I use this toilet? Do I use that toilet?
Sometimes you don't have a choice. You just use whatever toilet you can find.
Okay, so we have already established I'm clearly a glass is overfloweth kind of person, and Tim is a glass is leaking through the ass of.
I'm just saying it. There are times when you don't have a choice, and like whatever.
It's true.
You can't pick your favorite toilet all the time.
True.
You can't pick your favorite toilet over your favorite pants.
Okay, can't pick your no.
Sometimes you poop your pants. Is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
See, these are the nuggets you get from me.
These, no pun intended. All right. So, yes, some people are going to be like, oh my God, what are they doing? Guys, this is going to be part of the show every week. I was going to say something and I forgot. Yes, it's about what's going on this year. It's about the pressure. It's stuff we can't control. And in this little, hello, this little part of the world, we can literally control it. Look what you're doing. Michelle, you're egging this on. Do you see this? This is not okay. Let's put Kathy back up there. There we go. Hello. Yeah. So, alrighty. Mr. Tim.
Yes.
I definitely think we need to have more music in our show.
We do.
I do. Like,
there's a lot of quiet.
Right.
A lot of quiet moments. And at some point, I mean, paranormal is not in the title, so I don't think people come to this expecting us to talk ghosts.
Ooh, yeah.
But I think at some point we need to, because it's both of our wheelhouses.
Well, exactly. And I'm just going to say this because I have to say it. I'll forget it. The paranormal world, if you don't know it, haven't been in it, you think you're afraid of it, you peek out of your eye over toward it. It's actually brought a lot of people together, and the paranormal field in one way or another is actually and can be very healing when you reach out and use your resources. So this show's definitely going to be covering that which we do not know.
Yes, ma'am. I'm trying to stay centered. I keep moving.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm like.
I also have to get a more comfortable chair or lose 20 pounds. Because I'm going through the padding on this chair and I'm all the way down to the metal.
I told Braxton the other day, we're sitting on the couch. I go, does my office chair look like one of the legs is flipping backwards? That's all I need to do on live is just, where's April?
That would make for great video. That would go viral.
Right? I'm good. I'm fine.
Yeah. Take one for the team, April. Just take one for the team.
Woo! So this is going to be fun. We've got a lot of people that are going to be shocked a little bit. So Deb says music. Tim can play Tutti Frutti.
I don't even know Tutti Frutti.
Tutti Frutti.
Oh, okay. Okay. Why is Jimmy doing camel shit emoji?
Is that a camel?
Oh, my eyes are. That's a cat. I thought it was camel shit.
What is it? Oh no, that's Fergie. Lumps. I was going to say camel humps. Can't forget it. This is what happens when you move out into the country and you work from home. Wiki.
Oh
God. Do you remember the Fat Boys from like the 90s? There was a movie called Disorderlies. Yes, Lady Lumps Heather.
I am so ridiculously bad with music and movie references.
Oh my God, they were like the original beatboxers. When they were like,
it doesn't ring a bell. If you're going to bring up specific music groups on air or movies, give me a heads up so I can look into them earlier in the week.
Oh, it just reminded me of the Fat Boys, like original rap. Yeah, that's like, oh, Teresa, I love you. And then then Deb said I should specify tutti frutti as in farts.
Oh. Well, I've never had a fruity fart.
I'm going to leave this. Clearly, there was something at an event again that I was not a part of. And Jimmy loves this. And there was.
So Tony, getting back to Tony, he sends me a text message and he says, I have an HD camera that you can use. And that's Tony's nice way of saying, hey, Tim, you look like shit today.
Your computer camera is outdated.
I think it might be.
We could test your settings. We could do like contrast and, brightness, lower it a little bit. That's all the tech guys stuff to do.
Yeah, so I'm going to be meeting with Tony. We're going to get this camera situation taken care of. I got to get it taken care of before the Bachelor episode because, my gosh.
I'm telling people do not understand what is about to layeth the smacketh down.
Whoa, a rock reference. That's impressive.
Yes. Look, I may not know all the wrestling stuff now, but I was there when Hulk Hogan was not part of the NWO. I still remember when he would rip his yellow shirt open. Andre the Giant, Paul Wonderful. My dad took me. I was like 8, 9.
I think it's been a month since Paul Wonderful, Paul Orndorff. Mr.
Yes.
One.
Did he die?
Yeah, he passed away.
Oh, don't tell me this. I'm going to have to go talk to him.
Yeah, a month ago.
Aww.
But Tony is still, he clarified and said, yes, you do look like shit.
Tony.
Yeah, Tony tells it like it is. So.
Well, I have 5,000 jet plane lights facing me.
Yeah, I wouldn't look so bad if I wasn't next to April.
It's jet lights. You need a jet plane and you need the lights on you. Yeah. Like that. That's all. And lipstick.
That's a no. That's a hard no.
Really?
No lipstick. I'm about to sneeze on air, though.
Oh, no, I lost you.
Why?
Can you see me still? Oh, there you are. Okay. So Sabrina, I guess, is talking wrestling. Not happy Cena is back, though.
She is talking wrestling.
I'm way out. Now, this is where you lose me. I'm about 20 years out.
There's still a lot of fun things happening, but they're getting rid of a lot of people now, which is a little weird, honestly.
The Four Horsemen, are they still there?
No, they're all really old now. We're talking 70s.
What about Ric Flair? Woo!
He just got released.
He got released?
Yeah, he was with WWE and he got released.
Oh, I thought you meant like he was in jail and he got released.
No, but he's got to be about 70 by now too.
Oh, so, yeah. I wonder if he's still blonde.
All of our childhood heroes are
old. That's horrible.
And here we go. We're going on a rant. You know what irritates me?
What?
So we're about the same age. You're a little bit younger than me, but we're about the same age.
24.
I'm 26. We had all of these people that we looked up to and enjoyed their talents as actors, comedians, musicians, what have you. And they're all getting old, and some of them are passing away. And it's kind of just a thing that happens. So, you get like 2 actors or 2 musicians or, 2 comedians that pass away in January of 2022. And you're going to have the whole world on social media going, the hell with you, 2022. It's like, No, sometimes people just die.
You see, the glass is leaking out of the back.
It's not.
It's so sad.
You know, if we're going to blame a year, let's just blame 2020. And I think that should be the year that we all hate for the rest of our life.
Which spirit called the year of blessings?
Yeah, the spirit was wrong.
But at the end of the year, it really was the year of clarity. Like, I mean, you know what was so funny about 2020? People that had issues with money were now getting more money. Not the way they thought they would, but they were getting money. And they were still complaining. You know, it was like, oops, I was still bad with money. I had people saying in readings that they were upset that they had to be home with the family they created. Ouch.
Yeah.
That the job was the escape plan. So, you know, I don't know. That's like, let's choose a life that we don't want to escape from.
Yeah. And Dana brings up a good point. And I'm weird like this, but I'm not afraid of my mortality.
I'm not either.
You know, I've said this in interviews before, and, you know, we covered Murray a little bit, but when, you know, it's not an if, it's a when I pass away, I don't want people to be sad because it's the greatest reunion ever. You know? It is. Just imagine how happy I am at that point. You know, and not only do I get to see Murray, but I get to see my dad again, and you know, I hope my mom lives till she's 120 and she outlives me. So then I'll be waiting for her. But yeah, so I mean, my mortality doesn't bother me. It bothers me to a point because I won't go skydiving. You know, because I'm not looking to die. You know,
no, agreed.
180 from, you know, say 12 years ago or 10 years ago. I'm not looking to die, so I'm not going to, like, you know, try to cheat death. There's no reason for somebody like me to jump out of a perfectly good airplane. So, you know, there are things that I won't do.
We don't have to inspire something or push it, make it happen. If you jump out of a plane, you might have a parachute that won't open. So you just did that to yourself. Yeah. I won't do that. I won't bungee jump. I won't walk on a tightrope. I won't do any trapeze. I did this shit. You have no idea how horrible. I froze and I was 3 feet off the ground. What was I going to say to you? Yes, Jimmy left a shit job finally, which is true. Creating your reality, you know, being excited enough about what might exist and brave enough to take the chance because you're sick enough of being where you're at. Does that make sense?
Well, it makes total sense. And I'm happy for Jimmy because he's a lot happier now.
Yes, he is.
Darren's in the chat room. Hey, Darren, how you doing?
Hello, Darren.
Really grateful for the people that joined us tonight, our first show.
Yes.
I was excited to look and see that 550 people liked the Facebook page.
I know.
We need all of you to go over to the Escape Reality YouTube page, Escape Reality Podcast. Is there any way we could put that in the link in the chat?
I'll be right back. Un momento, por favor.
I'll try to carry the show for the next 10 seconds.
Thank you.
But yeah, you'd be doing us a great favor if you went over there and you subscribed and got all that stuff, and you'll get alerted every time we go live, and it'll be every Tuesday night, and it'll be a lot of fun. This is going to be.
I know that it's still in the process of working itself out.
Tony had something positive to say. He did. Yeah, he did write back to me and told me that he thinks you and I have great chemistry. And so that's wonderful.
It matters when you're doing a show.
Yeah, that's important when you're doing a podcast together.
Right.
That you could play off of one another and have good chemistry, because otherwise it just is boring for everybody, including the hosts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be really, and you know what? There are some shows. I've seen a few. But
I'm not going to name the show, but I once did a show. I was a guest, and the host left to eat dinner. But
okay.
Again, 15 minutes later, we're like taking. This is back when I was married. Amy and I were taking questions from the chat room because we didn't know where the host went, and the host came back and said, "Hey, I just got back from eating dinner."
Wow.
So yeah, not all podcasts or not all radio shows are created equal. So
no, they're definitely not. Deb, thank you for getting us up into Canada. Robin Watson Hamilton, that I got to interview a few weeks back, is in Canada, from Canada. She's a makeup artist on the Rachel Ray Show, and that interview was fascinating. But yes, she's all in Canada. Have you ever been to Canada?
I've been to Canada twice. I was at Winnipeg Paracon 2 years in a row.
Very cool.
Have a lot of good friends up there, and a lot of people up there that I miss dearly. Great people in Winnipeg. Fantastic people that I've met through the paranormal that live in Canada. I watched that interview you did with Robin, and it was a very good interview.
Thank you.
It was a lot of fun.
I've never met anybody. I'm gonna knock on some wood. I've never met anybody thus far from Canada that was not pleasant. I'm not saying that they're all pleasant. However, met him in WP. I don't know. Okay. I'm like, Winnipeg. All right. But yes. And Canada is just fascinating. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But you're used to the cold. You're that close. You're up there.
Yeah, it gets mighty cold here. It does. But it only happens for about a month or two, and then we're good. But the people in Canada, wow, do they suffer for a long time with the cold temperatures. That was my first flight ever.
Really?
2013, I think. So I was 38 years old, my first flight.
Wow.
And I was scared because I am scared of heights.
I am too, and that's funny that you say that. I literally just had a dream the other night. I'm always afraid of heights. So love this. We're telling our future, serial killers exactly what to do to us. Jimmy says, so will you be having guests on, and who would you both be interested in speaking to?
I think my interests as far as guests, they would probably be outside of the paranormal.
Right.
And this is going to sound like really arrogant. And I realize that as I'm about to say it. But I've been pretty lucky. I've been able to speak to most of the people in the paranormal. So there's nobody really on the bucket list there. Some of the folks I haven't had on the show, I've had interaction with that has taught me that I don't want to talk to them for an hour. So I think some of the folks that I would like to talk to are outside the world of the paranormal. Maybe actors, comedians, sports figures. What would be really fun is just to have somebody that's an everyday person come on the show.
Oh my God, you have to hear some of my earliest radio shows. That's all I would interview. I mean, I literally would interview people I interviewed a mom who was fighting for her son's pill addiction. She was actually trying to save him, and she was an advocate. It was just such amazing things. I did a lot of work with addiction. Great song, In the Rooms. Just really, really good stuff. I would love to bring on everyday people. I would love to, Spirit's going to bring us some really unique individuals. Like my brain is automatically going.
We got a message today from somebody that one of us needs to respond to.
Did we?
Yeah, it was a Bigfoot researcher. It was asking if we would like to have him on the show.
Oh my goodness.
If we do, then that one's on you, because I know nothing about the Bigfoot world.
Okay, but this to me, I'm pulling it up right now. This to me would be fascinating, because in the world of spirit and psychic medium stuff, that's in my eyeballs. I'm like up to my eyeballs. You know what you do. But when was the last time you and I explored cryptid stuff.
I've been invited.
Yeah.
I've always turned it down. And this is like part sarcasm and part like real. What are you going to do if you find it?
Hope that he is Harry from Harry and the Hendersons.
I mean, if you think about it, though, I doubt that, if you were able to find, or I don't know, do you catch a Bigfoot? I don't think you catch one.
No. Do you know where we moved is the Bigfoot sighting capital of East Texas?
And not to mention, there's other things in the forest that would like to kill you, like bears.
Bears and bobcats.
I don't need to be out there. I don't need to be out there in the nighttime when they can see me and I can't see them.
Yeah.
So I really have zero interest in doing it. I'll talk to people about it. But yeah, I just there's no reason for me to do that. I will stay in my lane. That's where I will stay.
I do not mind researching and exploring where people like to stop talking. I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to get into that. People get into the Bigfoot alien thing. Like there's a crossover somewhere. So I do find some of this fascinating. I probably don't want to talk to somebody that has not ever been able to prove anything. I that would piss me off.
I went to one of my earlier conferences when I was just a baby in the paranormal field. And this guy got up and he showed about 40 pictures of shadows. And, very bad shadows. And after his lecture, I went up and talked to him at his table. And I said, from where I was sitting, I really couldn't tell what any of those were. Is there any way for me to, look at them here? And they were still really poor shadows. So, yeah, I mean, it's the same as the ghostly world.
Yeah.
There's people out there that try to pass off these red circled photos as activity, as Grandma Edna, and so in every walk of life, not just in the Bigfoot world, not just in the spirit world, not just in the the UFO alien world, just everyday life. There's always people that will try to manipulate.
Oh yeah,
and make a name for themselves on things that aren't 100% on the up and up. So yeah, I would be interested in doing that. I would have to take a look at, his work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not completely ruling it out. But I think the first few shows we're just going to do you and I and
just you and I. What song is that? Na, 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 na.
And Dana.
Did I kill that for you, everybody?
Yeah, I think Dana is misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not saying there aren't Bigfoots.
Okay.
I'm just saying, why would I want to go look for one? Because if I find, it's like, hey, there's bears in this woods. Good for them. They can stay there. I'm not going to go look for them.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm not saying there aren't Bigfoot or Big.
But
feet.
I would love to talk to somebody.
Feet?
Big feet. Right. If there's like a bunch of them.
Yeah. Is it like goose and gooses?
Geese.
Or moose and meese?
Mouse.
No, but yeah, I'm not discounting. I mean, I run around people's houses and I try to talk to things I can't see. Why would I look at something and go, well, that can't be possible?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. No, Dana, he totally understood what you were saying. So did I. But what we don't know, that's why it's called paranormal. Yeah. And I love that, And
I agree with Hope. It is fascinating, but it's fascinating for somebody else to figure out.
So clearly, I will be doing all the questioning for the Bigfoot guy.
Because I'll be the guy pissing in the Wheaties, and we don't need that.
You go have dinner.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you wanna wrap? We would love your feedback. We would love you guys to share this, the link from the Facebook page or the YouTube page, and we would love to see y'all back here next week.
We absolutely would love to. And I think we should wrap it up. And I think we should wrap it up the way we're going to wrap up every show. First of all, I want to thank you for a wonderful show. And I can't wait to see where this goes. And really enjoyed this.
Yes, this was actually fun.
Yes.
It was like people, not cats. It was great.
So I guess in the spirit of this show and in the spirit of things that we will talk about in the future, we want to say thank you and goodbye. And it's okay
to not be okay.
We love you guys all. And you guys have a great week. And we'll see you back here next Tuesday.
Yes, we will see you at Escape Reality Podcast. Put in all the music. All right. See you later, guys. Goodbye.